Namaste, fam. Thank you for joining me for these short sequences. You'll notice in some of my videos, we just, take our time easing into it, take our time with the poses, take our time afterwards. For these shorter sequences, I'm really just trying to get in and just target the movement. So today, we're targeting the hips today, allowing them to open, release, soften, all the good juicy stuff. So go ahead and find yourself in a nice, comfortable seat. Make sure you have your blanket and pillow close by just in case you need any props, which is always nice just for added comfort. Just feel yourself in your seat, sitting up nice and tall. You can have a nice soft gaze or maybe even close off your eyes as we settle into our space. Just feeling your inhales and exhales for a moment. Just getting acquainted with your breath as we want to stay connected to our breath as we move. And then just taking one full round of a cleansing breath or as many as you need. Take a deep full inhale through the nose. And release that breath with an open mouth exhale, sigh it out. Emptying out all the way. When you feel ready, seal your lips and begin to breathe in and out of the nose. A little bit deeper and fuller than your natural breath. Just keeping this style of breath throughout the rest of your class or of your practice today. And just getting right into some movement. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Take the knees out wide. This is where you get to gauge how close or how far you want your feet towards your body. Grabbing onto the shins or the ankles, sitting up nice and tall. As you exhale, begin to fold forward, really drawing your heart forward towards your feet and then down, making your way into your landing place. A few options here. You can keep the arms relaxed right underneath you. You can have a nice soft grip on the feet, gently pulling the chest forward. If you want to go even deeper, you can place the elbows on top of the legs, pressing the knees away as you softly pull your chest forward. Wherever you've landed, just taking it easy, sending every inhale to those tender, tight places, softening as you exhale. Now, any of these poses we do throughout this practice, you can stay as long as you would like. That's the joy of a video. Just taking your time. No rush. Totally up to you. Just for time's sake, I'm going to continue to cue as you inhale. Begin to walk your hands in nice and close to the body, supporting your torso as you sit up tall. Take your hands on the outer edges of your knees, gently guide your knees in towards each other, and then step your feet out a little bit wider than the hips with distance. Shift the weight back into your hands back behind you, keeping your heart lifted up out of your shoulder girdle and taking a few windshield wipers. Gently let the knees drift off over towards the left-hand side, letting that right hip lift up. Moving mindfully and slow, bring the knees back through center and then gently let them take them over towards the opposite side. You've got rotation in the hips and the knees, so move mindful and slow. One last round, knees back through center and over towards the opposite side. Stay connected with your breath as you move. And finishing up the last side, knees back through center, over towards the right-hand side. Good. Bringing the knees back through center, shift the weight back up into your seat, and then making your way into a tabletop position. Swing the legs out and around back behind you, making your way up onto your hands and knees. I'm going to kind of be on an angle so you're able to see what I'm doing with my toes all the way up to my hands. Wrists are stacked right underneath the shoulders, shoulder width distance apart. Knees are stacked right underneath the hips. As you inhale, make your way into your cow pose. Tailbone lifts, chest rises. Roll the shoulders away from the ears as your gaze comes forward, really expressing your hips. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, press the earth away as you make your way into your cat pose. Inhale, tailbone lifts, chest rises, opening up the front side of the spine. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, opening up the back side of the body. Good. Making your way into a neutral tabletop here and just getting a little stretch within the feet. Tuck those toes underneath if they're not already tucked, and gently lower the hips over the heels, moving slow, being mindful of the knees, walking the hands in close to the body. Maybe this is enough sensation right here. Toes are spread wide. You feel a good stretch in the sole of your foot. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can lift the knees, really putting some extra weight and just walking the hands back, shifting the weight forward and back, getting a nice stretch in the calves, the heels, anywhere else you feel that targeted stretch. Keep the knees in line with the hips. Good. Return those knees gently back down to the earth. Come back into your tabletop position. And then pull that right knee towards your armpit and, left foot knee in towards the armpit, and then step that left foot out directly out towards the side. You're on the sole of your foot. Toes are pointing directly in front. Adding those layers. Maybe this is enough right here. You feel that nice, good stretch on the inside of that leg. If you want, you can gently lower the hips back, keeping those toes pointed forward, or even allowing the toes to point up. Staying connected with your breath. Every inhale goes to those tender, tight places, softening as you exhale. Good. Begin to make your way back up into that extended leg, tabletop situation thing. And then gently pull that knee back in line, coming into your tabletop. Opposite side, extend that right foot out. Toes are pointed forward. You're on the sole of your foot. Maybe this is it right here. You're actively pressing the earth away, staying out of that shoulder girdle. Or if you'd like to go further, gently lower back, letting the hips rest on top of that heel. Toes can extend forward if they'd like. Couple breaths here. Good. Inhale, make your way back into that extended leg tabletop. And pull that knee so it's back in line. One full round of a cow and a cat. Inhale, tailbone lifts, chest rises. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine. Good. I'm going to turn to my side so you guys are able to see me a little bit better. Here, you're going to really press the earth away. Pull your belly muscles in as you draw the right knee in towards the chest, and then step that right foot through the hands. You might have to heel toe the foot a little bit forward so you've got a nice straight line with the shin, that you don't have that knee overexerting those toes, that it's just forward here. Maybe there's even a nice gentle slope here. You can come up onto your fingertips or even your blocks if you'd like, whatever feels good. And then adding those layers, maybe this is enough right here. Maybe you feel that stretch on that right side. Again, if you want to go further, tuck those left toes underneath, lift the left knee, scooch that left foot back, really creating some space between the feet. You can return that left knee back down to the mat and tuck those toes. Adding some layers here, you can stay here, just letting the hips sink towards the ground. Or if you'd like to come into it a little bit deeper, one hand at a time lifts on top of that front leg. Making sure both hips are squared off to the front. You've got a little bit of balance challenge going on here. And once you've found your balance, your landing place, let the hips lower and sink towards the earth, really opening up that front hip crease as that other one is squeezing. Heart is lifting up. Wherever you're at, heart is extending forward or up, just keeping a nice long spine. You don't want to find yourself rounding or hunching. Really pull it forward here. Lifting the crown of your head. Every inhale goes to those tender places. Soften as you exhale. Nice and slow, controlled breaths. A deep inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to your mat. Maybe you'd like to stay here, just softening through the hips even more. If you want to get a little stretch in the back of that right leg, begin to shift the hips back towards that back foot. Walk your hands back towards that back knee as you straighten through that front leg, letting those toes lift up. Deep inhale, send it to the back of that leg. Full exhale. Good. As you inhale, walk your hands forward, making your way back into that low lunge. Hands are stacked right underneath the shoulders, supporting the body. Pull those belly muscles in as you bring that right leg back. Realign here. Come to the palms of your hands. Inhale for your cow pose, Vidalasana. Exhale, tuck it, round it for your cat pose, Marjariasana. Good. Making your way back into a neutral tabletop on the opposite side. Pull those belly muscles in as you bring the left knee in towards the chest and then step that left foot through. Hands are framing that left foot. Heel toe it out, just extending it, making sure you're staying safe in the shins, safe in the knees. Adding those layers. Maybe this is enough right here. Or tuck those back toes underneath. Lift that back knee up as you slide that back foot as back as you can, creating the space between both feet. Gently lower that right knee back down. Untuck those toes. Always bring a blanket underneath the knees if you need to. Adding more layers. Maybe you could like to stay here, just extending and pulling the heart forward. Or if you'd like to come up, one hand at a time, making your way on top of that front leg. Make sure both hips are nice and squared. Gently let the hips sink towards the earth, keeping a lifted chest. You've got the opposite side open as the opposite side closes. Find your breath. Stay connected for a few rounds. Soften through the shoulders. Keep the heart lifted. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, return back, both hands back down to your mat. Once again, you can stay here if you'd like to go in for that half split. Begin to shift the hips back towards that back foot, straightening through that front leg. Walk your hands back towards that back knee. Straighten that leg as those toes lift up towards the sky. Breathe into the back of that leg. Nice, slow, controlled exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back up, coming into the low lunge. Keep the hands stacked right underneath the shoulders. Pull your belly muscles in as you slide that left knee back, making your way back into a neutral tabletop. Come in for one round of a cow and a cat. Really expressing those hips, lifting that tailbone. Exhale, tuck it, round it. Neutral tabletop. Very good. Bring those big toes to touch. Take the knees out nice and wide, and then begin to lower the hips over the heels as you walk your hands out and away from you. Resting and relaxing your forehead onto your mat, relieving the pressure in your upper body, really surrendering into this pose. Deep breaths, send them all the way into those hip creases. Slow, controlled exhales. Letting your chest, your heart melt to the earth below. You'll begin to walk your hands back towards your body, lifting the torso up. Pull yourself back up into a tabletop position. You can wag the tail left and right, really shifting the weight into one knee and then the other. Just noticing what you feel in the hips. Good. Lowering down onto your seat once more. Extend your legs out in front of you. Take some gentle taps with the backs of the knees. And then leaving that right leg extended out long. Slide that left foot, bringing it up nice and close. Cross that foot over on top of the opposite side of the leg. Now you can stay here, keeping one leg extended out nice and long. If you want to go for it, lean into that right hip, slide that right foot, bringing it on the outer edge of that left cheek. If this doesn't feel as good, no problem. Just extend it out nice and long. No worries. Wherever you've landed, as you inhale, sweep that right arm up overhead and begin to twist over towards the left-hand side, hooking that elbow on top of that knee. Opposite hand comes back behind you, supporting the torso, sitting up nice and tall. If it's more comfortable to grab the leg and guide yourself into this twist, you're able to do so, or try both options out. Breathe into that left hip. If it's safe in the neck, take your gaze back behind you. Just a few rounds of deep breaths here, not letting this twist deter the depth of your breath, really using the strength of your chest to keep the breath deep. Last round, exhaling all the way. As you inhale, unravel your twist. Take it all the way over towards the opposite side, plant both hands down, and then just take a gentle bow, letting that left hip lift up for a second. Making your way back up through center. Uncross that leg, extend both legs out nice and long, take those gentle taps. Moving towards the opposite side, begin to slide that right foot in, bringing it nice and close to the body. Lift that foot up and over. Same thing goes. You can stay here, or if you want to go for it, lean into that left hip as you slide that left foot on the outer edge of that right cheek this time. Make your way into your landing place. No judgments, no labels. And then begin to make your way into that twist. As you inhale, sweep your arm up overhead, twisting towards the right-hand side, hooking that elbow or grabbing onto the leg, gently guiding you into the twist. That back hand is resting along the side of you, supporting the torso, sitting up nice and tall. Excuse me, all the excuse me's. If it's safe in your gaze, take it back behind you. Few rounds of deep breaths here. Breathe into whatever sensations you feel. Let the thoughts slip away as you stay connected to your breath. Your deepest exhale, emptying out all the way. As you inhale, unravel the twist, come through center, taking over towards the opposite side. Both hands plant on your mat for a moment, bowing the chest forward, letting that right hip lift up for a second, and coming back up onto your seat, back through center. Unravel the legs, taking them both out in front of you, gentle taps of the backs of the knees. And then making our way into our final set of hip openers, making your way onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. Roll back nice and slow. Bring those knees right in towards the chest. Give a little squeeze, and then rock left and right a couple times, just massaging the sacrum. Good. When you feel ready, just let that left foot return down to your mat, keeping the right knee hugged in towards the chest for a moment. Make sure that left foot and left knee are in line with the hip. As you inhale, extend that right leg forward. I'm getting my lefts and rights all mixed up here. Extend that right leg up towards the sky. Take some circles with the ankle in one direction and then in the other. Bend and straighten through that knee a couple times. Inhale, extend that right leg up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bend the right knee. Take the outer edge of that right foot, placing it on top of the left thigh, coming into your figure four position. You can stay here, gently pressing that right knee away. If you want to go further, begin to draw the left knee in towards the chest. Reach your hand through the legs, grabbing on the back side of that left thigh or the left shin. And gently guiding the left knee in towards the chest, nice and slow. Last option here, if you want to intensify even more, place that right elbow on the right leg. Press that right knee away as you gently draw the left knee in towards the chest. This would be similar to a pigeon pose, but on our backs. Inhales go to the tender tight places, nice and slow and controlled. Deep, slow exhale, soften. Once again, you can stay in any of these poses as long as you like. For time's sake, we'll keep moving. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, release the grip of your hands. Release both feet down to the mat. Take a little windshield wiper. Knees drift off towards the left-hand side and then over towards the right. Bring those knees back through center. Pull the knees back in the chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then keep the left leg hugged into the body as you return that right foot down to your mat. Keeping the right foot, right knee in line with the hip. Inhale, extend that left foot up towards the sky. Take some circles with the ankle in one direction and then the other. Bend and straighten through that left knee a couple of times. Inhale, extend that left leg up nice and tall up towards the sky. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Take the outer edge of that left foot on top of the right thigh. Figure 4 on this side. Same options. You can press that left knee away nice and gently. You can begin to bring the right knee in towards the chest as you reach the hands through, grabbing on the back side of the right thigh or shin. You can stay here, gently guiding the right knee in towards the chest, or place that left elbow on top of the left leg, pressing that left knee away as you bring the right knee in closer to the body. Find your breath. Soften the muscles of your face. Just enjoy this pose for the next few rounds of breath. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, release the grip of your hands. Release both feet down to their mat. Knees can drift off towards the right-hand side for a moment. Bringing the knees back through center and then over towards the left for a moment. Bringing the knees back through center. Pull the knees in towards the chest, coming back into your wind relieving pose. As always, these short sequences, I encourage you to take Shavasana, pulling everything in nice and tight, squeezing, releasing your legs out long, the arms along the side of your body, and allowing yourself to rest here for a few minutes. It's really allowing the body to integrate all the movements that you've done. For time's sake, I'm going to wrap the video up, but please, I invite you to stay here in this pose and then just slowly making your way out of the pose whenever you feel ready. I want to thank you for joining me for this short sequence. Just really allowing the hips to open up, just releasing any tension, stress, or emotions that we hold in this area. Drink lots of water. Be gentle and kind with yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. From my heart to yours. Namaste.